Welcome. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lena. I am giving it to you this way, my intro, because this is going to be another rant about allsfair, the Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner production debacle that's on the streaming service that I pay for monthly, Disney Hulu. I don't know why I'm shocked, because I called it out in my last rant where I thought that this show was probably going to get another second, maybe third pushing season, because that is how crap flows upward. And for whatever reason, I was still surprised when I heard that they actually are been greenlit for a second season, while this first season is still underway. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. It just jarred me. I thought maybe, because it's still sitting at 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a 3% increase from when the last time I checked, which was on 0%. So against the bad ratings, the Rotten Tomatoes, the horrible critics, movie and film critics online, when I say online, like blogs, news outlets, those people, and the inherent bitching, moaning, and screaming all over YouTube, and I presume Instagram, because I'm not on Instagram. But if you try to even look for any positivity on this show on YouTube, you got nothing. You got 0%. So against all of that, this show has another season coming. How, you may say? Well, let me tell you how. Like I said before, two major factors, except for the second one I didn't really mention before. First major factor is ratings doesn't matter. Shows don't need to be rated by Nielsen. They don't need to have any kind of return on investment to the advertisers that actually put the advertising on regular standard television, cable, whatever you used to watch, back in the days when that mattered, when they were catering advertisements to the age group that the TV shows would be on and would expect a big return on investment because there's so many viewers. Remember that? Okay. That doesn't matter anymore. Second big reason is that regardless if I watch this debacle or not, I've already paid for it through my subscription. Yeah, I'm subscribed. I pay monthly. So whether I watch it, review it, look at it, vomit, whatever the hell happens, the show will go on with or without me, because I've already paid into this budget of production, just production, between 11 to $12 million just on this season. Where is this money going? Well, apparently on the fashion, and not all of it, because half the fashion is missing half the clothes, because whatever Kim wears, there's always a loophole, figuratively and literally. There's a hole on her suits between her butt cheeks showing in one of her outfits and this ensemble that she's wearing in this episode, where she has a split that goes all the way to, I guess, to the top of the suit, because when she sits down and then she tries to get up, it just spreads her legs wide open like Basic Instincts. Yeah. So it's going to the accessories, and this is just the production. I'm not talking about the salaries of these women. They're never in a courtroom, so it's a cross between them walking between their hallway of their alleged multi-billion-dollar office, all their homes, all of them have huge homes with cars and just ridiculousness. Now, salaries, believe it or not, all the women in the show, all the characters, Glenn Close, Naomi Watts, Sarah Paulson, Niecy Nash, Kim Kardashian, it's 5, are getting $350,000 per episode. So this is where my subscription money is going to. I can revolt. I can protest. I can drop the Rotten Tomato score down to 0 again. It would not matter. Because The only way it would matter if I cancel my subscription to Disney Hulu. And I'm only of one person. I will not even make a dent. It would need to be a mad exodus off the platform, specifically tagging this show for the reason why everybody's leaving the platform. For then maybe they would say, hey, did we do something wrong? So that is part one of the story from hell. So since I have no other option, I am going to somewhat review these last two episodes, which is not the last two episodes of the season. I honestly don't know if there's going to be another episode, if this is 8 or 10. I know that I'm looking at 6 and 7. So next week could be the last one, or they can stretch it out to 10. I doubt if it's 12. Well, I don't doubt anything anymore because I could be proven wrong again. Oh my God, this show's horrible. You don't understand. Okay? Episode 6, season 1. Divorce is like a death. They're literally trying to kill us. Mm-hmm. Let's set up the scene. Okay? And if I speak this way, intermittently in between my rant, it is because I am mimicking the absolute acting ability of Kim Kardashian, who has no other tone than monotone. No facial expressions at all. She has 4 modes. Look to the side. Look to the other side. Look down. Look up. And then just speak without blinking, crinkling, just moving her mouth like this. That's it. In every episode. I think she cried a little bit. I couldn't tell. I just noticed because the mascara that she's wearing, from the fake eyelashes, on top of the fact that she has mascara running down her face, blackened her face. And I had said either something happened to my television screen, or is that tears that I see mucking up her makeup? But we'll get into that. Let's do this quick because this is ridiculous. Scene opens with Sarah Paulson's character, and I don't want to remember their names yet because that will mean I'm too invested. Eventually, I might. I don't know. I don't care. Sarah's is a character cross between Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining and his character in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, all merged into a barrel of crazy. And to be honest with you, she is the only one that seems to be having any fun of doing this role, which is completely beneath her and totally egregious. And she has the most disgusting lines in every episode. But she's the one that's delivering it, over delivering it. I think that she's like, listen, I'm getting paid $350,000 an episode. What else do I got going? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it to the best that I can. And I'm just going to throw it out there and see what sticks. So she went on the road of crazy. She is speaking to Kim's soon-to-be ex-husband, who in this scene I just realized is a really knockoff version of Smith Jarrett, the boyfriend of Samantha in Sex and the City. Really bad knockoff. But there's a similarity there because she's telling him that they're about to go into mediation and that he needs to look a certain way and that the man bun that he's wearing, the ones that people used to wear back in 30 years ago, is disgusting. And she's trying to take it out of him and clean it up and like mush it up. And she takes out his hair and he looks like a gay Tarzan, as she noted. So she puts the man bun, she tells him to put the man bun back in. I find out that he is a football player. And now I know the position he's in, other than the positions that he's been in with other women-ish. He's a quarterback. So from here on in, I'm calling him quarterback. Okay? Okay. So she's prepping him up to go into war, mediation war. And part of the war is to see who can cry first in front of the judge. So in order to expedite the crying session that he needs to go and act because apparently he can't cry on command, she tells him to take this napkin that she has laced with wasabi, so it's burning his eyes so he can cry. She knows how to send out her troops, and off they go into the midst of mediation war. Inside the war room, conference room, we have Glenn Close, Lisa Nash, Monotone Kim, and on the other side is Sarah, quarterback, and I forgot the other one. I can't remember her character, and the judge. The judge I've seen before in other shows, and apparently I guess there's no work in Hollywood, so they're just going to grab anybody that wants to say, I want to be in the show. So this whole mediation is to see who's going to go first before he makes the decision of who's going to win what, because remember, there is a prenup in place. Now, secret thing is that the ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, Sarah's representing him, they want to contest the prenup. But there's even a bigger secret on why they want to have the prenup contested. But let's not forget that he asked for the divorce. He's the one cheating on every Joe Schmo girl boy out there. But yet somehow they're going to finagle this to be where his prenup should be null and void. So he starts telling the story to Kim about how they met. Do we get a show? No, we only get a tell. That the first time he saw her, he was out on the football field, yet to have been seen by anyone on the show, and that she was wearing white, and that she looked so beautiful, and he felt that he fell in love with her at that moment. And he goes on and on and on about how beautiful, how much in love, and all this other crap, and he makes himself cry. Kim's reaction? Well, she gets emotional, I think. She gets up, excuses herself, and apparently whoever gets the first tissue wins the case in the eyes of Sarah's side. So now the football, or whatever the hell it is on someone's side. Okay? Oh, it's on, I don't know, whatever the football reference is. I don't care. So Kim runs to the bathroom, and I guess this is where she starts to cry, and she is emotional, and she starts holding her stomach, and then she goes into the rest area, and Glenn Close comes in to comfort her, I think. And she says that we make our own worst clients. I don't know. And then Kim's comes out. Now there's no black makeup coming out of her face because she cleaned herself up in the toilet, I guess. And she tells her that she got her period and that the eggs didn't take. Doesn't give any story background behind it because obviously she told no one. We only know as the viewers from the last episode that she stole the eggs and had them implanted while she forged her soon-to-be ex-husband's signature on the communal property of the eggs. And Glenn Close, giving the performance of a lifetime, is like, what? What the hell are you talking about? Do you know what you just did? She goes, yeah, I do. No crying this time. Yeah, I know it's illegal, but I needed to do it because it was his, because they were his. Okay. Sure. And Glenn tells her, don't say anything. Keep it to yourself. Do you really think that's going to happen? Of course not. So back into the mediation war room. It is now, the football has been tossed to Kim, who is now her turn to give her rendition of their relationship. And here's where I'm going to cut it short. I don't know what she said. I don't care what she said. I've watched this 3 times and I fell asleep because she speaks like this, with no emotion, at least, even with the wasabi. Quarterback had some emotion. And by the time she's done, quarterback cries. So instead of making her cry herself, because that would take a feat beyond, the jaws of life, they make the other side cry, which is not a win because it's to make her cry the way that he cried when he told his story about the way he fell in love with her. What the hell? What the hell? So Sarah gets upset and like, can you please go take care of yourself? Because, she was supposed to cry, not you. So man bun, quarterback, leaves. And the next scene you have is quarterback is waiting in the lobby of this office, and the other attorney and Sarah comes out, and, they're saying that you need to pull it together. And he's like, and like, listen, we're so close to it. I don't know how, but they have a trick up their sleeve, a legal trick up their sleeve, right? So the other attorney says, we're not going to contest the prenup. And he's like, we're not? And I'm like, okay, why? We love the prenup. This is what Sarah says. We love the prenup. You're going to go in there. You're going to say, we love the prenup. It's like slathering it with apple teeny and rubbing it all over and motorboating your tits with it. Y'all know how much I hate the word tits, right? I don't know what she's saying. So the whole purpose of this is that they're going to trick something out of Kim to divulge something she should have divulged when they got the prenup, before they got married. I don't know. But the whole purpose is that quarterback cannot protest. He needs to love the prenup. Okay, back into the mediation boardroom. I hope y'all give me credit for remembering this. I saw this 3 times. And whatever is coming out of my head is exactly what I remember. And I could be missing pieces. I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Because if they don't care to write and give us deliverable scripts and acting abilities, then I'm going to give it to you the way I had to listen to it. Okay? Take it. So as we go back into the war room, the other attorney of quarterback is asking Kim about a property. I don't remember what she says, but somehow it turns out to be a history lesson of what that property meant to Kim. Apparently, it was a school. It was a reform school that she was sent to by her mom. And in these reform schools are apparent torturous to children. So they tortured her for the 2 years that she was there instead of the 4 years that they had recorded. And that's where she slips up. She got rescued by her dad. So she spent the last 2 years in another school. And she was donating, and she made some sort of, I don't know, she donated money or something like that to the other school that took care of her, a fund for that school. And then the other lawyer asks, so whatever happened to this reform school? And Kim messed up and said that when she found a way to buy it, she bought it, sold it, and tore it down. Because no child should go to that school ever. And apparently, whenever she did this, was not part of the assets in the prenup that was signed by quarterback. And that's the legal loophole that they knew about. So because she didn't divulge that asset, the prenup is now null and void. May I just say that I will put a prenup if I even buy a pet rock at any time will be part of my prenup. Pet rock, chia pet, whatever it is. You're going to get such a list of all the items that I have, you're going to throw up. Because this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Okay? If I buy so much as a Twizzler, it's going into the prenup. ¿Tú entiendes? Understand? So because of this, the judge asks for convenience or conveyance or whatever the hell happens in these mediations. And he takes the first party of the first part, which is the Kim team, and says that this is bad. You should have divulged it. And though I feel sorry about your story, I now don't trust that whatever you actually claimed in your prenup is actually true. Kim's reaction? Well, she can't make any, so I'm giving you what she do. Okay. Then he goes to the party of the second part, which is the quarterback's team. And apparently he scolds them and says that was a dirty trick that you did. And that, you got it out of her in a very, very wrong way. And Sarah, crazy woman, says, I don't care. And she starts to blackmail him. Well, he says blackmail. She says threaten. I don't remember what she has over him, but she has something over him, and that he better be on their side on this whole nulling of the prenup. So I guess that's over. Oh my God. Back to the war room. Well, I think it's the war room because we have the scene with Niecy and Glenn, because apparently Niecy has some information which I thought would be, him cheating on her. No, but Glenn doesn't want to use the information. And Niecy is very perplexed and she's asking why. And she says, because it was my fault that Sarah turned out that way. And Niecy's like, I really don't give a fairy rights behind. We need to use this. Okay. Sure. I think they go back to the courtroom, or I keep saying courtroom, mediation room. Okay. Somewhere in between, and guys, I'm not going to watch it again because I can't. My brain cells are going to fall out of my head. Between Glenn Close's scene with Niecy, Glenn Close gets a call, I think in the middle of the mediation. She has to leave because her husband's hospice nurse has called because her husband is dying. I want to say that in between that call, or after she gets that call, Kim and Niecy go and speak to Glenn, and she needs to leave. And this is when I noticed one missing character, because she needs to leave and she's the head counsel, being Glenn, and she gives the duty to Niecy, who has never mediated. And it's because Naomi Watts is not even in the scene, which, by the way, I didn't even notice. Didn't even notice that she wasn't there. I was already overwhelmed, sensory-wise, until they mentioned that she's out doing some mediation, because I guess she would be the second person, right? Right. So Niecy starts to freak out, and she's like, I've never done this before. And Kim, expressionless Kim, I would be honored to have you represent me. So not only does Niecy have to represent her, and Glenn has to go tend to her dying husband, Niecy now has the ability to use whatever leverage that was going to be not allowed by Glenn, because Glenn says, do whatever you want. If the scenes are messed up, you figure it out. Okay. But I know this is when the last mediation happens. Okay? Well, no. Wait. Oh boy. This is going to be messed up, guys. And I am so sorry. I normally don't do this, even when I was watching it just like crap. There is a scene in part of the media. Holy crap, I may have to watch. No, I won't. I'm just going to give it to you the way I remember it. I know that there's a scene when they go back to the mediation room and Glenn Close hasn't left yet, that the judge does agree to the nulling of the prenup. Okay, follow me. Okay. Because of this, Sarah starts mocking Kim and says, we are going to make an offer, and the offer would be that we allow you to use the eggs. Yeah, this is how it goes. We allow you to use the eggs, but and they'll give the assets of the eggs, but he wants 50% of their company and assets, personal and corporate. Here we go. Now I'm beginning to remember. Sorry. So as she is mocking her about, you're not going to be able to get pregnant without these eggs. And, she keeps jabbing at Kim. Kim finally has lost her mind and tells them that I already implanted the eggs last week and they didn't take. And that was it. the shit show started. Sarah says, you did what? You took the eggs, communal acids, without permission. Let's start with that. Of course, we all know that, don't we? And you implanted them, and now you're telling us. So quarterback gets all emotional. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Like, he has lost his shit. Not in the way that the council of his wants. And he gets really bravo. And they're like, relax. And he's like, no, this stops now. I don't know what's going to stop because I don't understand what's happening. Okay. So now you want to be back with her after you're the one who said goodbye? Is that what we're doing? Is that what's happening? Talk to me. So that scene happens before the rant that I gave about, Niecy taking over the case. So now Sarah is on her higher horse because I didn't think she can go any higher than the sky. Apparently she's in heaven now, or hell, however you want to flip it. And she is going to take them for everything. So the agenda, the real agenda for Sarah's character is she doesn't give a furry rat's behind of quarterback's life. She wants to get 50% of this company because she's on a mission to destroy them. 10 years later, after she has her own firm, she doesn't let go. She's worse than Elsa. Let it go. Let it go. Worse. My God. She's like the frozen crazy bitch. Okay? Or if that's what she was. She's worse than Wicked. I don't know. I don't know where she's back crack crazy. And I don't mean Sarah. I mean the writers. El Jodio freaking writers. Okay? Okay. So now that they walk out and, he's not willing to go on attack mode, all this starts to happen where, Glenn Close has to come to terms with her husband dying. She has to leave, and she's leaving on the line for Niecy to resolve fixing the fact that Kim handed the company basically to Crazy Town. So she's like, you do what you got to do. Got it. So now we're back to the mediation room after Arrow, the kerfuffle. Okay. And Niecy goes on to, her other high horse, and she's like, you're not going to get anything from us because she has the winning hand, unbeknownst to Sarah. I still don't even know what she's talking about because I thought it was the cheating scandal. Nope. So as they're punning each other, okay, she finally puts on the screen that something about one of the games that quarterback was playing was rigged, and he rigged it. Because the numbers don't make sense. If he's such a great quarterback player, why are these? And there's text messages about him throwing the game. Oh, okay. Still not the cheating scandal. Though it was interesting, and he denies it. It was interesting to the judge. He goes, this is hyperbole? Conjecture? I don't know what he said. It's not valid enough to forego the whole reason why they're canceling the prenup. Okay. So we thought we were done. Of course not. Sarah goes to Niecy and says, I found pictures of you on the internet, though you think you scrubbed them all. And that pissed off Niecy. Now, I'm not sure if it's the pictures of her being in the attack sequence in episode 4 or older pictures. They never show it. They never explain it. At this point, I'm like, okay. She says, well, you want to talk crap? I'm paraphrasing. She puts onto the screen the police camera recording when she got arrested for being drunk in the last episode, the police cam. And she is going on and on about how she could have had sex with quarterback. She could have given him a BJ because she has really good gag reflexes. I don't know how she's saying this with a straight face, and she's completely drunk. And obviously this recording was not taken legally, but nonetheless, the judge and everybody in that room gets to see her drunk. And she's crying, I need a man. I need a man. Like, she went crazy, and she decided that she's not going to sleep with her client, which is the quarterback. And that, she just went back crap crazy. And now Sarah went nuts. She's like, turn it off. Turn it off to the point that she jumps onto the table, screams at them. I'm telling you, this woman is giving it all she has. Horrible language, threatening them. I would think that she would have been a great wicked witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. That's exactly who she reminds me of. She threatened to kill everybody. She's better than everybody. She hates them all. She's gonna take them all, and she's jumping on the table like a rabid animal with rabies. I was like, with emotion and movement in her face, that alone gives her the Emmy of most crazy. Do they give out those awards? I don't know. I don't watch the Emmys. I haven't seen it in 30 years. But I would put her as the contender. Okay? So she finally gets off the table. Mind you, the judge is there. Her other partner is there. Quarterback is getting her off the table as she's screaming. And he's like, he turns around. Are you happy now? I'm like, what? Pick a side. Dude, pick a side. What's going on? What's happening? What's wrong with you? Okay? So after the shock and awe happens, Nisi decides to go talk to Sarah, who's in their kitchen, and while she kicked everybody out, and Sarah's going on and on that all she wanted was this company, and that she wanted to destroy it, and that, whatever, and she wanted to sell it to some capital venture. So this was never about the prenup and about the money and what your client wanted? Okay. And she's like, it's been so hard for me. I'm a single mom, raising a daughter on my own. And then that just triggered Nishi to say, well, hello, look at the kettle calling black. I am a single mom with 3 twins or triplets or whatever the hell she has. And I understand. And I went to a good school and they told me that I couldn't make it because of this. And I'm just listening to this. I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? And that Nisi can help Sarah because she knows her daughter wants to go to the school that she went to, and now she's on the board of that school. I'm like, okay, so are we letting crazy people in? What's happening? And, Sarah is like, why are you helping me after everything I did in there? I'm like, yeah, why? What's going on? What's happening? And then Kim comes in, with no emotion, just her monotone tone, because I think it's our fault. I think we did this to you because it was our fault that we didn't take you. We didn't realize how much we were going to hurt you. And, we just want this to end. Did you see me blink? Because if I blink once, that's more one time than Kim did. And Sarah's like, oh, cry, and they hug it out. So it's over. Nisi's going to help Sarah's kid get into the school that she was on the board of now. Sarah says, if we would have been partners, we would have been fighting each other because she didn't like the colors that they picked for the office. They look like a hospital asylum. I would presume she would know. And that the deal is now, the prenup is that 50-50, personal assets only, the original deal. And that if you don't tell him or anybody about this conversation, I'll kill you both. She walks out. And that's the deal. We went from upset. If they would have just had a conversation and apologized from the beginning, everything would have been fine. So next scene we have is now that it's over. We have the somewhat, I guess, romance that's budding between Kim and Quarterback. He is waiting for her in her office in the stairwell. It's nighttime and they shake hands. And as they shake hands, he pulls her closer and they start to make out. I would feel something in this scene if I understood what the hell's going on. What is happening? I don't know. Because in episode 1, you went from come to daddy to literally, I want a divorce, to showing me that you're sleeping with her front desk receptionist. You got her pregnant. And on top of that, you're sleeping with a transvestite. And then we find out how many other people he starts to sleep with in the next episode, or he slept with. So how this turns into you care about her and now you want to make out with her, I don't know. And the fact that Kim is allowing this to happen is the most baffling part of them all. Because as they're making out, she pulls away. And then she walks away. And I'm supposed to feel a Harlequin romance here? I've seen worse in the 50 Shades of Grey book. At least there was some sort of written attraction. I don't understand what's happening. Do you? Have you watched the show? Are you upset with me? Not at me. With me. With me. Ayúdame. Por favor, ayúdame. In English. Get me the hell out of here. Help me, please. Help me, Rhonda. Help. Get me out. So now, because I have to say something funny because I'm going to lose my mind. Next thing we have is, oh yeah, Glenn Close. You know her? And, you know, Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy, also from Modern Family. Again, there's no work in Hollywood. Well, he didn't get much because she goes into the bedroom to lay down next to him and be at his last moments as he's breathing and he's dying. So Ed O'Neill's total amount of lines from episode 1 to 5 has been 5. He made an appearance, said a few things, and now he's in the bed, and now she's listening to him as he passes away, and she breaks down crying. Her husband's gone. Officially. And that's it. That's how it ends. Not with a bang, but with a death. Next episode is episode 7, and oh my God. I would like to do an epilogue, but to do an epilogue, I would need to understand what the hell's going on. $11 to $12 million in production cost, $350,000 for the 5 main characters. I can't stop this train because unfortunately I already paid my ticket and I'm on it. So, stay tuned for episode 7. And oh, joy. I can try to make it funny, but in order to make it funny, it would need to be written funny. I can tell you this on the epilogue side. Let's do epilogue. One note. I see what the problem is. Phew. First of all, this is coded as a dramedy comedy. Dramedy? So I don't know where any of those two are, but none of these lines are being delivered funny. And even if the lines were horrible, it's about the delivery. I've said this 1,000 times. We've had some real bad doozies in Sex and the City, but they were delivered. Maybe not so great, but you need to know first how to write a comedy. And then find the people who know how to deliver it funny. The end. Thank you, everyone. The next one is coming up. I'm trying to keep this short. Thank you for everyone who's viewed, subscribed, shared, commented, laughed, to all my new subs. I hope that you are enjoying this because I'm not. I'm enjoying bringing it to you. But if we're going to have to take this ride because we've already paid for it, then let's do it. Ride with me, bitches and bros. Let's find the right term for this. See you soon. Goodbye.